All right, now we're going to get into training on how to use each stroller specifically. So we're going to go into all the features, how to use them, as well as kind of who will benefit from them the most. And then we'll also do comparisons to its closest competitor so that you're well equipped to educate customers. Now, our expectation is that you go through these strollers after testing, is that you make sure you know how to use all the features, that you're comfortable educating customers on it. After you're tested or after you're trained, we want you to take at least a week to play with the products and get more familiar with it. The more familiar you are with the products, the more comfortable you will be with the customers. So this is the Baby Jogger City Select. This is our most popular stroller because of its price, but then also versatility. The fact that it starts as a single, but you can turn it into a double. So when you buy it, you get the frame and the seat. Now you can buy the second seat to turn it into a double stroller. Also has a plethora of accessories to adapt to your lifestyle. So let's get into how to work it. So the brake, you're gonna have a hand brake, and you're just gonna pull it up to engage that brake, and then to disengage, you're gonna pull up on these gray tabs and then push it down, or actually let it fall down. So that's gonna engage the brake. Then you have your handlebar, which is telescoping. So you're gonna squeeze on this gray button in the middle of the handlebar and pull it up and down. And again, I prefer the telescoping handlebar because it brings it up away from the stroller so that it increases the kick space that you have for walking. Now, both seats have 45-pound weight capacity, which is actually plenty high. I want to say my 5-year-old is 40 pounds. So he could still sit in this seat just fine, even though he probably shouldn't. Then with your seat to recline, there's a gray button on the back. It's a little bit hard to see, but you can feel it. So squeeze that, and you're going to just lay it down. Now these ones, the company claims that you can put a 6-month-old baby in here, depending because of the recline. Personally, I think you could go about 4 months as long as their head is supported, but do make sure that their development is good enough that they can keep their head supported without it flopping around, and more importantly, flopping forward. Then you have your canopy. Now, one thing that Baby Jogger is known for is their generous canopies. As you can see, it's quite large, and the perk or the benefit of that is if you are walking into the sun, then your baby's face is going to still be covered without having to drape a blanket over it. Now, this does adjust in height. So you're just going to release these tabs on both sides and then click it in to this higher position. And so that's going to accommodate your taller children. So you also have an adjustable leg rest. Now this, in the City Select, it's going to adjust 2 ways. It's going to do telescoping and pivoting, which is really nice. So to engage the pivoting, I'm going to recline it a little bit so you can see it better. So you're going to push on these buttons on the side, and that's going to swing it in and out of the way. Now to adjust the telescope, you're going to push on the 2 buttons on both sides and push it in. And really, that just saves a little bit of space if you don't need that length. They actually decided that that wasn't a necessary feature, so they took it away with the upgraded version, the Luxe, which we'll go into those differences later. Now, this is a modular stroller. So you can take the seat off, turn it rear facing, and then you're going to have that same capability with the second seat. Now, the City Select has 2 different positions for the main seat, and then you have your 3rd position for the second seat. Now, the reason it has 2 positions for the main seat is if you are using it in single mode, they do recommend putting it on the lower position to lower the center of gravity, so that if it's really heavy, especially with a car seat, it has less chance of tipping, like this. Especially when you have a bag, like if you attach your diaper bag up on your handlebar. However, that is not recommended by any stroller company, but every mom does it. So it's just something to be aware of, that it does increase the chance of tipping if you put a bag up here. The City Select comes in 2 color frames, silver and black, and then I believe it's 9 different colors to choose from within those 2 frame options. So the wheels, to release the wheels, you have this button on the front, which you'll just push. It'll come off. The only time really you need to take it off is if you are traveling and trying to fit them in the travel bag, or if you really need to save space in your car, which honestly the front wheels probably aren't going to help you with that. Then to lock the front wheel in place, you're going to push down on this black button and then move that, slide the gray tab over to the other side, and that's going to, it's supposed to lock into place. Oh, it's not in all the way. Let's do it again. And so you'll just push on the black button in the middle, slide this tab over, the gray tab to the other side, and that'll lock into place. So the reason you would want to lock the front wheels is if you were at a playground and going over bark. If you lock the front wheels, it's going to keep the stroller from jogging in one direction or the other when getting caught on the bark or on the grass. So if you lock those front wheels, it's going to keep you going forward. Okay, and now to remove the rear wheels. You have this tab right here. You're just going to push on that, pull out the wheel. These ones are a little bit more beneficial if you want to save space in the trunk. You can take those ones off, and then obviously to pack it in the travel bag. Okay, now as your child grows, you are going to need to adjust these the harness height, and so you're going to want to utilize these different slots in the seat. It's a little bit difficult to do. So you're going to access it on the back, unzip this mesh panel, you're going to undo this zipper or this Velcro, and then you have this black tab in the back. So you're going to take that, feed it through sideways, and then through the fabric on the front. So I was in here, now we're going to go up one notch, and so again you're going to feed it in sideways through the fabric. This spot you can almost see. And then feed it through that plastic. And then zipper back up. It's not too difficult. Sometimes this is super tight and it kind of hurts your hand. Just bear with it, keep going. Okay, then to collapse it or to fold the stroller, you're going to pull up on both sides where it says fold, just like that, and then you're going to lock it into place with this. Now, kind of inconvenient, not everybody does it. I personally don't do it just because it's one more step for trunk, checking it in my trunk, but it will keep it from falling open. Okay, now getting into the second seat. So right now they're covered like with a plate cover just to make it look nice. So you're going to remove those by pushing in this little tab on the side, which as you can see is super easy. And then you're going to attach your second seat adapters. These are included with the purchase of a second seat. Or you can buy them separately if you're planning on putting a seat down here and a car seat up here. On the City Select, both seats are identical, so it doesn't matter where you put them. Now, as you can see, they're black frame, and this is teal. Typically you'd buy the same color, but you know, for training purposes, we only have the one, so we borrowed this one. So, you're gonna click that into place. And then you have the same capabilities as like for recline, your footrest, that sort of thing. You can move these rear and forward facing. Now, if you are facing each other, you do have to make sure that this mesh panel right here is zipped down so you can get it down in there, or the footrest down in there. And these things are things that you want to practice before getting with a customer so you're not fumbling with it quite as much. And this way they can face each other. Obviously dangerous if you have taller toddlers or older children, so I would only do this if you have two small children. This, for me, is the ideal position if you have two sleeping children, is to go rear facing with both, because you get a nice deep recline for both children. So they both have freedom to sleep without bugging each other. Okay, the two most common accessories that we sell with the City Select are going to be car seat adapters and the glider boards. Let me show you how to use those. So my favorite combination with the City Select is actually Britax. Then as you can see, the adapters are super small and I love that. They're also inexpensive. So you're going to click in your adapters. And then click in your car seat. So super easy. And then to release, you're just going to release it from the back of the car seat, which is nice compared to some brands. You're going to have to release with your thumbs on both sides. So I do I do need you to play with all of the adapters with the City Select and that compatible car seat so that you can be familiar with all of them if you need to help a customer with any brand car seat. Then you have your glider board. So the glider board goes kind of on kind of like a zip tie. So you're going to insert these tabs into these little holes in the frame or in the axle. They're going to come up around and then slide back into the glider board. Just like that, you're good to go. Now there are two different riding positions for this. So you can have it close if you like your handlebar pulled out, and then your child will stand there up inside the handlebar and then they can hold on in here. Now if you're shorter and you like your handlebar to be closer to the stroller or lower, then what you'll do is pull out your glider board. They can stand here and hold on to the outside. So it really just depends on the position of the handlebar that you like. So when you're on here, these will hold it up out of place while you're not using it. So if you were walking your child to school, they can stand on the board and then you can tuck it up out of the way for your walk home. When they're not in use, you can attach those to this gray thingy, I don't know what to call that, those gray little hooks on the underside. Then to release it, you're going to push down on these gray tabs and pull. And you can push these back in. I think that's everything I needed to cover for the City Select. If you have questions, leave them below, or find a Cubby Mom to get some clarification if you are unsure on how to use any of these features.